In this session, we're going to discuss industry compliance and how Venafi can help with the enforcement and validation of regulatory compliance. The challenges with regulatory compliance are that organizations typically are unable to enforce policies that are required by the industry organizations, such as PCI, HIPAA, HITRUST, etc. They're also unaware of the locations, users, and owners of their keys and certificates, including SSL, SSH, and specifically when we talk about mobility, Wi-Fi, VPN, 802.1x, and the other types of certificates. They're also unable to provide evidence in a timely manner to auditors, which demonstrates the enforcement remediation of these industry standards. The tasks that are necessary to address these challenges, we need to detect all certificates that are out there. We need to find everything and have a comprehensive inventory. We also need to enforce policy for replacement in case we find something that's out of compliance. We also need to provide a workflow and renewal, making it very easy for a self-service portal, which also has APIs so DevOps teams and others can interface directly with the solution without having to go through a UI. And then finally, we need to validate remediation, completion, and make sure that compliance and reporting is enabled. So how does Venafi help with this? So on the protection side, we create visibility and inventory by having a discovery engine that will find everything that's out there, bring you into a central inventory. We also have the ability to establish policies to make sure we understand what is in compliance and what is out of compliance. On the detection side, we want to not only establish policies, but enforce the policies. So if we find something that's out of compliance, we let someone know about it, and then we provide remediation. We do that through the self-service portal so the user can quickly and easily see anything that's outside of compliance and then remediate that. On the response side of things, we want to validate that audit failure remediation has been completed and has been successful. We also want to provide reports so that auditors will have quickly visibility to know that everything's in compliance, and if there's anything out of compliance, then we go back to being able to remediate that and fix that. Now let's take a look at a brief demonstration. All right, let's log into the web portal, and we're going to look at the protection side of things first. So when we talk about protect, the very first thing we talked about was visibility. So with Venafi Trust Protection Platform, you have a discovery engine that allows you to have multiple discovery jobs. And the discovery jobs allow you to have targets and placement rules. And so the targets are IP addresses or subnets. You can do individual host names. You can do ranges. It makes it very, very simple to discover these. The most important part about that is the placement rules. So what happens here is that once we run a discovery job and we find certificates, if they match a particular rule, we'll automatically place them into the inventory. The ultimate goal here is we want to make it so that a user does not have to take manual action. We find certificates, we bring them into the inventory, and we automatically start monitoring them and look at the information about those certificates. So if something is out of compliance, we let someone know about that. So if something falls outside of those policies, that is shown in the dashboard. So let's look at the dashboard real quick. So this is still under the protection side. So if we go to the certificate dashboard, you'll notice that we're looking at things such as we have the certificate dashboard, we have critical alerts, the status, the certificate authorities, and you'll notice there if something's red, I can hover over that and it will show me exact information about that. So you'll see, for example, that this has compliance with CSC 17.4. There's also PCI information. So it lets us know that there's issues with dual control. There's certain certificates that don't have owner assigned. We also have a certificate that is coming from an unapproved CA. So this dashboard gives us a quick view as to anything that's coming up for expiration, what's the trending of our certificate population. So it gives us a quick view as to what's out there. And then once again, under the protection side, there's policy. So if anything's outside of policy, we can see that. So on the detection side of things, we still are at the dashboard, and we can see that if we have a certificate that's outside of this, let's say we don't have an owner assigned, we can select that. It will then take us to this particular certificate. We could view the information about that certificate, and we could also see if there's something about this particular certificate. So let's say that we needed to revoke this. We could revoke this. We could also renew this certificate. So it gives us a very easy view as to what's there as well as how to remediate about that. The other thing about the self-service portal is I can go to my inventory, and I can say I want to see all of my certificate inventory. I could also say I want to create a new certificate. And if I say I want to create a new certificate, this is a wizard that's going to walk me through creating a certificate. It's very easy. It does not require me to generate my own CSR or key material. It will do all that for you on an automated manner. Okay? And then so on the respond side of things, what happens here is that if we go back to the dashboard, these certificates are validated on a nightly basis so that we can make sure that everything is still within the compliance. If something falls outside of compliance, it will show a critical alert, and then we can take action on that, such as either renewing that certificate or revoking that certificate. All right, and then finally, I want to show you some reports. So if we log into our admin console, we can then go to the reports. The reports are geared primarily, you set them up once, and then you can run them many times. So if we go to reports, you'll notice that we have SSH reports, we have SSL audit reports, and SSL operational reports. So I have the ability to run these reports either manually or, like I said, you can schedule them so that your audit reports, for example, let's say that my auditors need this information on a quarterly basis. I could set this report up so that I want to schedule it, and then I also want it to be delivered in CSV or PDF format, and I either want to email it to someone, or let's say I want to send this to an FTP or SCP server. All right, so in summary, we have the ability to protect, detect, and respond. We can use the discovery process to find what's out there. We have the ability to detect. We have a dashboard that shows everything, and then you have the ability to respond by either renewing certificates or revoking certificates, and then a user portal to make it very easy to securely request new certificates. All right, if you have any more questions, please contact us here at Venafi. We're happy to help in any way we can. Thank you very much.